The Joe Rogan Experience.
It went from walking down the street to nobody know who the fuck you are, to walking down the street and everybody knew who you were. Everybody. I mean, it got to at the height of MTV. You couldn't go. I couldn't go any place.
Did you get the agoraphobia before that?
Oh yeah.
Oh boy, so that probably just made it way worse, right?
No, actually, again, Joe, lucky. It helped me get over it. It helped me, and you know, like I believe that all growth takes place in the chemicals inside our body. So I was growing still because I grew up in public.
Right.
You know, I literally grew up. When I got my first record deal, Joe, I had never written a song.
Wow.
Never written a song. They asked me, well, play some of the songs you've written. It's like, I don't write no fucking songs. I'm a barroom singer. I sing other people's songs. What do you want a song? What do you want me to write for? Dylan's writing great songs. Springsteen's
You hadn't written anything?
Nothing.
Wow. So when did you start writing? After you got a record deal?
Yeah.
Wow. But it turns out you're a great writer. That's crazy.
And I have dyslexia, which means I can't read. You should see my songwriting books. It's absolutely terrible. It looks like, you know, I have to have somebody now, and after I write a song, I have to give it to somebody right away and let them copy it, and I'll read it to them so that we can read what the fuck what I wrote. Because songwriting is not what people think it is. But anyway, back to MTV. It just blew up, and you couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't. I would walk down the street, and all I did was sign autographs and shake hands, and I didn't like it at all.
Well, that'd be very weird.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, you know, you've been in rock bands since you were 13. Nobody gave a shit. And then all of a sudden, they did. And, you know, it was the baby boomers coming of age. And, you know, I was very fortunate, but unappreciative.
So when you first started writing songs, what was your process when you knew you had to write songs? How did you...
Well, I figured out, because don't forget the critics hated me.
Already?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They hated Johnny Cougar. Fucking hated him. And I didn't like him much either. Because, we weren't any good. You know, we just weren't. We didn't know how to write songs. We didn't know how to do anything. So I figured, how do you reach a lot of people? By being on the radio. So keep it simple, stupid. So I would write, like I had a song called Hurt So Good. Do you remember that song?
Sure.
Yeah, Hurt So Good. I wrote that in the shower. And I came out real quick and I wrote it down, and then I had somebody write it down, and I remembered the melody, and I sang it into a tape machine. And I got so many funny stories. I was down in Criteria, which was in Florida, in Miami, and you know, it was the early '80s, and so we had this, and Criteria had 5 or 6 studios, and you know, there were like, I don't know, all kind of bands. The Bee Gees were over here, and this band was over here, and we had the studio blocked out, but we wouldn't show up. We had other things to do. There was a place called Scaramouche that had the prettiest girls you ever saw in your life. So it was like, we did not have time to go to the studio because we had been up till daybreak at Scaramouche, and so I was spending a lot of fucking money by now. And it was like maybe, at the time, $500,000, and I had 3 songs done.
Whoa.
That's exactly right. Whoa. And I'd had a couple of hits. I had I Need a Lover, Ain't Even Done with the Night.
Mm-hmm.
And This Time I Think I'm Really... And so those songs were got into the top 20. Anyway, the record company came down and said, Mellencamp, what the fuck? You're spending all this money, and if you don't get on with it, we're going to drop you from the label. And I went, you can't drop me from the fucking label. Are you kidding me? I'm just starting. Well, we want to come down and hear what you've done. I said, well, come on down. I played him 3 songs, the 3 I had done in 6 weeks. Anyway, I played him the 3 songs. They hated him.
Which songs were they?
Jack and Diane.
Oh, God.
Hurt so good.
Oh, God.
And Hand to Hold On To.
Oh, my God. They hated those?
Oh, they hated him. They said,
oh, wow.
They said, John, they're too rough. They're too raw. And what is this sound in Jack and Diane? It's not even, what is that sound? Well, the sound was, I would walk by the Bee Gees studio, and they had just invented drum machines. And the Bee Gees were using it to keep time. Because, most drummers, they speed up. They start the song at this tempo, and all of a sudden they're like, by the end of the song, it's like, I can't keep up with you, goddammit, slow down. So the Bee Gees were using it to keep time. And I heard this sound, and so I knew the engineer. His name was Albie Gluten. And and I said, Albie, can I borrow that machine? He goes, yeah, because we're not going to be in the studio for a week.
NFL playoffs, let's go. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, makes every moment feel bigger. Postseason games shift fast, and with DraftKings live betting options, you can stay right in the moment. Plus, DraftKings has your back with early exit protection. If the player in your eligible NFL prop bet goes down at any point in the first half, you still get paid in cash. New customers bet just $5, and if the bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the code ROGAN. That's code ROGAN to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, pass-through of per-wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
So we were doing a song called Jack and Diane that just was not working out because the drummer kept speeding up. And when you're trying to keep it simple, stupid, simple is hard. Because if you make a little mistake, it's a big mistake now because there's not a bunch of shit covering up your mistake.
Right.
So I called up Mick Ronson. He was the guitar player for David Bowie. You remember Mick?
No, I don't.
Joe!
I
God
don't.
damn it!
Sorry.
Anyway, Mick was a great guy. And he was Bowie's guitar player when Bowie was great, when he had Ziggy Stardust and all that stuff. And Ronson was an English guy, and he'd call me Johnny all the time. And, he said, Johnny, maybe you should put those baby rattles on there. And I go, what? He goes, that drum machine thing that makes that noise, just to keep time. And I said, okay, we'll try it. So we put on this doom, 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 and it was perfect timing. Perfect. So the idea is that we'll take that drum machine out when we get everything. We'll take it out. And now the drummer had to play in time because that machine did not budge. That machine was perfect. And it was a prototype of a drum machine. That's how new it was. It was a prototype. And it was the only one. They gave them the Bee Gees to try it out, see how they liked it. And so we got it all together, and we took the drum machine out. Sounded like shit. But it sounded great with the drum machine. So I said, fuck it, we'll just leave the drum machine in. And it worked because nobody had ever heard that sound.
And the record company didn't like that.
Oh, they hated it. They hated that fucking sound.
But that song was so good.
Well, and it's surprising to me that to this day, how many people still love that song.
It's a fucking great song.
And every
What
time.
year was that?
1981.
Wow. I was 14.
So how old were you in 1981?
14.
See,
Yeah,
you
high
were,
school.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
That's great. See, that's great. And I love hearing, guys your age talk about it because it's just like, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. And the fact that that song today, I had somebody tell me, one of the nicest things anybody said to me is that, John, there was Romeo and Juliet, there was Frankie and Johnny, and now there's Jack and Diane. And you've joined, those two kids have joined those people of importance in American culture.
Yeah.
Now think about it. Now, who would have fucking thought that some dumbass like me would write a fucking song as a child when I first started writing songs and create those two characters that made such an impression on everybody?
The only other one I think about is Brenda and Eddie from Billy Joel. Scenes from an Italian Restaurant.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
another one. Yeah. Jack and Diane was fucking huge when I was in high school. I can't believe the record company didn't like that. They didn't like Hand to Hold On To?
Mm-mm.
God.
And they didn't like me.
God.
And they didn't like me.
Oh, how could you be more wrong than Jack and Diane?
Well,
Jack and Diane was fucking huge.
Joe, I don't know that much about your career, but look at your career and look at what Suits have said to you and how wrong they were.
Well, the most successful thing that I've ever done, nobody had any input on at all, which is this.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, there's not a chance in hell anybody would have said, yeah, have unfiltered conversations for 3 hours with random people. And, millions of people will listen and watch. No one would have believed it. But when we did it, we didn't do it for anybody else.
But you were an actor before.
Yeah. Well, I was a comic first, and then because I got a development deal, they gave me some money to be on a sitcom. So I did that. That sitcom got canceled. Then I did another sitcom that was kind of successful called News Radio. That got canceled. And then I wound up being on Fear Factor. Yeah. It's just a bunch of weird circumstances that a lot of luck, a lot of weird stuff happened. A lot of luck, yeah.
Yeah, see, and you know what? I walk in my house sometimes, and I look around and think, I get to fucking live here.
Yeah.
I get to fucking live here.
I think that all the time, yeah.
I get to live here. And how lucky I am to have had that kind of success from such a horrible beginning as Johnny Cougar. And, to be able to, I've done what I wanted to do ever since I decided, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
After American Fool came out and those songs became hits, nobody has ever said shit to me about anything.
Well, they realized they were wrong.
Well, those guys, I'm sure, are out of business, and I have to kind of smile about the rock critics because it got to the point where I had so many songs on the radio that they couldn't ignore it anymore.
Right. You were undeniable. Yeah.
And you know what? That's the word I used to say.
That's the key to success.
That's the word I used to say to the guys in the band. We have to make the song undeniable.
Yeah.
Because if you give them an inch, they'll find a fucking reason not
They
to do
definitely
it.
will. And